All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. Let me know you can hear me. Happy Tuesday, June the 4th. And we're getting a nice move out of the markets today. So I think it's going to be another fun day. We had a pretty interesting looking day yesterday when you actually break down kind of all four markets there with a lot of divergences, a lot of things making new lows, a lot of things not getting new lows. So it was a really interesting day, but the levels were respected yesterday. 27.30 quarter giving us a really nice reaction so far. We're up about 40 points off that level. So let's dive in and kind of take a look at that. And then I saw something this morning that kind of stood out to me. I don't typically keep volume on my charts, but I did see one volume spike this morning from my phone. So to start off with here, let's take a look at the news. So we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking here at 9:55. So here in about 50 minutes or so. This one is, for whatever reason, in red on the day. So going to pay attention to that 9:55 time frame. Again, like normal when we have 10 a.m. news that ends up being in red. All right, let's see. Can we get this on the next page? There we go. And really pay attention to that. Make sure we're not stepping in front of anything super important there or get whipped around. So 9:55, major news to pay attention to. And then coming into today, I want to look at yesterday's action here. So we had yesterday's action where we were looking at resistance up at 27.63s, looking at support down at 27.30 quarters to 27.24 quarters. And I mentioned, we could get like a 40 to 50 point rally out of this 27.30 quarter level if and when we could get down there and actually trade it, because we traded 27.31 quarters in the pre-market session yesterday. So we got about a point away from it. Well, we finally traded that in the regular trading hour session last night, or yesterday, I should say. We traded a low of 28.75, so we pushed through by about a point and a half there. And currently S&Ps are 27.70 and a quarter. So we're about 40 points off of that level at the moment, and the market does not look like it's showing any signs of slowing down. So what are going to be the levels for today? Well, levels for today are actually going to come in and be pretty much the same. So I've got 27.69s in place and 27.63s. Again, we needed to get above 27.63s for new longs. That pushed us into 27.69s. And then from there, it opens the door. We can get 76.75s and then up into kind of 81.75s there. So my game plan for today, we're going to open right here at about that 27.69 level. And my game plan for today is going to be to look for pullbacks into that level that hold. Or if they do, in fact, break by a little bit, they can target down here in the 27.63 on a pullback. And that's where I'm going to be looking to get long this market on pullbacks. So I do like the S&Ps. They're showing good signs of strength here. S&Ps are up 0.75%, NASDAQ up 0.91%, Russell up 0.88%, and the Dow up 0.76%. So NASDAQ being the leader here this morning. And before I move over to take a look at the NASDAQ, I want to show you guys what it was that I saw this morning in the pre-market session in terms of that volume. So let's see here. Turn volume subgraph on. There we go. And what I noticed was this spike right there. And again, we got a level above at 27.69. You can see that tagged it pretty much to the tick there. That volume ended up being 23,350 contracts in a 5-minute bar. And for whatever reason it happened at 7:45, you can see there's 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 1,500 contracts traded all throughout the night until this one big spike here, 23,000 contracts traded in a single 5-minute bar at 7:45 this morning. So for whatever reason that stood out to me on the charts this morning. I don't know too much what to look into that. But again, big spike there right into 27.69, small pullbacks. And then we're still ripping higher from here. And NASDAQ's actually about to cross the 1% mark as I am speaking right now. So let's switch gears and take a look at the NASDAQ here. Turn this volume subgraph off. There we go. And switch gears over to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is probably the one I'm most excited for on longs for today. And again, just because it has a massive target above that I really want to be able to participate upon. So with the Nasdaq here, we had resistance levels above. Obviously, we couldn't trade up into those yesterday. We sold off right down into the 94s there. That gave us a really solid reaction there. I think it was about 60-point reaction out of the 94s that traded here in the Nasdaq from yesterday. And then from there, we pushed down. We sold it in 69, 61s. Reversed that move right there at the end of the day. And then now we're popping up. We're currently trading 70, 65. So we're somewhere kind of up in this range. Now, the levels I've got for today are going to come in right in here, 70, 88, 50s. So on a first hard push up to 70, 88, 50s there, I think Nasdaq may see a little bit of a reaction back to the downside there, or a little bit of consolidation sideways market. And then from there, I think we break out. And if we break out and get through yesterday's opening print there of 71, 14, 75s, then I think we've got this 71, 71, 75 level in place. So from where we're currently trading at right now in the Nasdaq, I don't rule out 71, 71, 75 as a potential target for today's session, which would be about another 110 points higher. That would put the Nasdaq up about 180 points on the day, or roughly like 2.25%, something like that. So I'm not ruling that out here. I think that is definitely a possibility. Again, Nasdaq's going to need a break through this 70, 88, 50s first in order to get that going. Having traded through these levels yesterday, these are no longer valid, and we can redraw some lower support levels in here coming from yesterday's action, and that's going to come in at 70, 14, 75s. So if for whatever reason we start downtrending today, or downtrending from the open, etc., then 70, 14, 75 is where it's going to look like I can see the Nasdaq heading to. Let's see. Looking for that pop on RTY to 1491, may short at that level. Okay. Well, we're going to take a look at the RTY right now and kind of see what that's looking like. All right. So Russell here, I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these drawings. They've all traded here. Actually, the 1455.10s did not trade in pre-market or in regular trading hours, so I'm going to leave that alone for the moment and kind of take a look here. So we had resistance overnight that needed to break 1474.90s. That broke in a really nice way there. And then now we're pushing up, currently trading 1485.60s. So we're kind of right in through here. I think Russell's got a really good shot at getting back up close to 1500 here. So Russell 1485.60s. We got a small level there, 1482.60s. That did react at about 4 o'clock this morning. Russell did, in fact, trade that level and give some type of reaction. We could have a small level come in here right around 1490.80 or so. Maybe that's where a kid's pulling the 1491 level from there. But at the moment, we're kind of in the middle of that. So what I would say, I would look for pullbacks here on the Russell early on to 82.60s. If those hold, then you can probably target up into 1498 with that. If they don't hold, then I think we've got to move down to 1474.90s in the works there for this morning in the Russell. Again, Russell super strong, as are the rest of the markets here this morning. But I do like the Nasdaq as my favorite long opportunity. And I say that without looking at the Dow yet. So let's run through the Dow here, see if that actually ends up proving to be something worth trading here. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these drawings. We can redraw some new ones in here. So for the Dow, we got to get above 24,931s. We're currently 25,064. So we're kind of up in this zone at the moment on the Dow. We've got some resistance above 25,110s on the Dow. So that might be actually an interesting play there. And then I think pullbacks here on the Dow to 25,031s. That's going to kind of line up with the 2769 levels there for the S&Ps. And then if those break, I think we get pullbacks here to 24,985s. So kind of picture perfect scenario I would see here in the Dow would be an open somewhere where we're currently at 25,064s. We get this pullback here to 25,031s. It either holds or it doesn't. If it doesn't hold, we pull back to 24,985s. If If it does hold, we go from 25,031s up to 25,110s, and that's going to push the S&Ps up into higher profit targets, and most likely get the Nasdaq up into kind of those 70, 88s that we're looking at as well. So I think we got a really nice looking chart pattern setting up for the day. I think it's going to be some fairly large ranges. We've almost got 69, 81, 75s to 70, 66s. We've almost got 100 points worth of range in the Nasdaq so far. We've got 2744 to 2772. We've got almost a 30-point range so far in the S&Ps. 15 points or so in the Russell, and 250 points or so in the Dow. So coming into today's session, we already have a really solid looking range in place. I think Nasdaq's range yesterday was massive. Let me take a look just to make sure. There we go. Yeah. Nasdaq's range yesterday, 191.25 points. And we're coming in today already with about 80 some points on the books, 85 points or so here. So we've got, like I said, another 100 points that we could potentially move here. And that would not be out of the norm compared to yesterday. So Nasdaq's still going to end up being my favorite here, and targeting up in there to 71, 71, 75s on the Nasdaq. I think it's a really good looking trade, really good risk reward ratio, and we could be in for minus a first pullback here on the day. We could be in for a complete trend day to the upside. So honestly, what I'm anticipating is a little bit of a pop here at the open, just kind of, with the gap up and things like that, kind of shake and stir at the morning open, and then from there I think we can get a pullback, and then after that I think we're a trend day to the upside for the majority of the day. Again, if something changes here, I have no problem flipping my bias. But that is what I'm seeing this market doing first thing here. So we got about 20 some points the Nasdaq needs to pop to tag those 70, 88s. But again, 191.25 point range yesterday, and we're looking for like another 110 points to the upside here today, and that'll put us at about 195 point range for today. So definitely not out of the norm at all. So that's what I got there for the four main indices. I'm going to take a look at gold here. Gold, we were looking for pullbacks a little bit further down, 13, 14, 10s. We didn't quite get those yesterday. It looks like lows ended up being 13, 70, 60, so about 3.5 points there. And right now, gold's just going sideways up here. Taking a look at a 5-minute chart from this morning at the open there, and it's just been pretty much sideways in a 2-point range. So I'm going to leave gold alone today again. And then taking a look at crude oil here. Anyone know where to watch the Jerome Powell speech? I do not actually know. I'd assume I'm assuming you could watch it online. Crude oil here. I'm not a huge fan of crude, but I think moves up through kind of 53.68s, treated as resistance on first test, and then pushes through 53.68 can actually end up showing some good signs of strength there, and then we could actually push higher. I do think at the moment crude is obviously crude is in a downtrend here. I don't necessarily think that I can see that, but I do think it might actually have a little bit more room to go. We've got an open gap down here, kind of somewhere in this 51.60s, 51.70s range. And so far, we haven't gotten really down to that point. So I think that would actually make some sense for crude oil to kind of continue to work its way a little bit lower here first before being able to catch a rally back in this once and if it ends the hourly downtrend that is currently sitting at. So anyways, that's what I've got for this morning. I think it's going to be a really fun, exciting day here. I think the entries, once you've got an entry, I think you're sitting on a position for a few hours here at this point. So I think it is going to be one of those kind of slower patience days in terms of just holding on to the position. But I do think it will end up being a really nice day to the upside here for the markets. So at least that's what I'm looking to play for. And again, I'm not 100% set on that. If we start to change or show some signs a weakness or something sets up that tells me otherwise, I've got no problem flipping that and going, all right, it's time to get short this market. We're cratering back to lows. Anyways, that's what I've got here this morning. If you guys enjoyed this content, go ahead and click that like button. If you have not already done so, click that subscribe button and turn the little bell notification on. That is a free way for you to know when and if we go live each and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern and what it is I'm looking for on these markets. The levels from yesterday ended up being 27.63 and 27.30 quarters. The highs from yesterday were 27.63.75, so we pushed through the top side level by just 3 ticks. And the low on the day yesterday ended up being 27.28 quarters, 27.28.75s. So we pushed through by 1.5 points. So all in all, we missed the high and low of yesterday's range by 2.25 points, with over 33 points worth of range in the S&Ps on the intraday session. And all that was given out for free right here on this channel at 9 a.m. Eastern. So if that doesn't give you enough reason to go ahead and click that subscribe button and like this video, then do it because it's free and I appreciate it. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I'll see you guys in the MLT Discord for the morning power hour. If you want to join me in there, there's going to be a link in the description below. Take care. Hope you guys have a great trading day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.